Good evening, and welcome to New Teacher Big Impact, the live workshop. So excited to be with you here on this evening, on this Wednesday night. And I'm Daryl Williams Jr. And my goal is to help as many new teachers as possible have a big impact on student achievement data without burning out, without feeling unsupported, and without changing who they are. So as I see that we have people already here live, and I want to let you know we are definitely live. This is me live and in person. It's 7 o'clock p.m. in here Eastern in Charlotte, North Carolina. I want to know just one simple question. Let me know in the chat. I'll put a couple of answers on the screen. How many days until your school year begins? Let me know. All right. And if I say your name wrong, let me know. But I love using names. So I see Katira saying good evening to everybody. Glad that you are here. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but glad that you're here. Let me know how many years that you have been teaching. Good to see you, Brandy. Not years of me teaching. I'm sorry. How many days until your school year begins? Because right now, it's August the 7th. I know that some people are here, right? Some people are like, we started school yesterday. We start school next week. Let me know in the comment section how many days you have until your school year begins. Aaron, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Amy, glad to see you. Good that you are here as well. Let me know, guys. I'm looking. I'm waiting. I'm telling you, we're here. It starts on Monday. Dominique said it started on Monday. Oh, I'm sorry. And then I'm like, I hope that you are excited. It started on Monday, so we are here Wednesday. All right, so you're 2 days in. I want to know how that's going. 12 days for Leslie. 12 days until you get started. That's amazing. Can't see. All right, Katira, 14. I'm writing. I haven't even done the math yet myself. We started on the 21st. What's today? The 7th. So we have 14 days as well. All right, so I'm right there with you. All right, good job. Let me know. Let me know how many days. I know that we are exciting and man, so we're at, some people already started. Some people are at yesterday. Amy said they just started yesterday. All right, Tuesday. My goodness, right? Some people are excited because we're starting the school year, but people are also nervous. People are also anxious. There's just a lot to, a brand new school year. And I want to know, what are some of the feelings that we are currently feeling? Mike decides it wants to jump off the stand. I might have to I might have to hold it. Don't judge me in the place. I might have to hold it. All right. September 4th. What? September 4th. You got a long time. All right. So we have a lot of people that are getting started kind of soon. But sometimes we feel like we're not ready yet. Let me know if you're thinking of any of these things as the school year is getting started. How many of us are, as we're looking into the school year, or we're within our first week of school, which a couple of people are, we're starting to wonder certain things. Like, for example, we're starting to wonder if we're going to be able to manage the classroom well enough. Right? Like, there's excitement around the school year, but there's also a little bit of anxiety as we think about a couple of things. Somebody was like, man, how am I going to be able to maintain discipline, keep students engaged, assert myself as the authority while still being approachable and supportive? Like, how am I going to manage the classroom effectively this year? If that's you, put a 1 in the chat, right? That's you, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if you're thinking about lesson planning and curriculum. If you're wondering, how am I going to plan these effective lessons, right? How am I not going to overwhelm myself with everything that we have to do? How am I going to meet the diverse learning needs? How am I going to cover all the standards while teaching the curriculum? How am I going to teach this curriculum with, I blurred out the F word because I didn't want to curse here. Fidelity. Somebody said to me that that's a curse word in education. Like, don't use that word. But how are we going to cover all of the standards while teaching the curriculum to fidelity? If that's you, put a 2 in the chat. And some of us are like, I want to I want to know how to build strong relationships, but not just with students. I want to build strong relationships with students, with the staff in my building. I want to make sure we have a strong culture, a strong community. I want to build strong relationships with parents. Like, I want to build strong relationships. If that's you, put a 3 in the chat. If we're looking at this next school year, whether I started this week, whether I'm starting in 14 days and in 21 days, I started in September, I'm asking myself one of these 3 questions, or maybe all 3 of these questions. Right. And I see that we have a hope. People say, man, it's, for me, it's the lesson planning, it's the curriculum. Some people saying, for me, it's the classroom management. And Dominique said, listen, y'all, it's all the above. Let's get all the support. That's why we're here. I love it. I love your transparency and vulnerability. That's why we're here. All right. D's like, it's number 3 for me. I want to make sure that we build strong relationships. I think if we could synthesize this into one statement, I think we can say that ultimately we all just want to be the teacher that we've always wanted to be. Right. Is that a true statement? Like, we just want to be the teacher that we have always wanted to be, which is why tonight you are going to learn how to be the teacher that you've always wanted to be and make the impact that you've always wanted to make. Because as we look forward into the school year, whether it is that we're thinking about classroom management, whether we're thinking about building student relationships, whether we're thinking about how to lesson plan effectively, ultimately we're saying, I just want to be the teacher I've always envisioned myself being, right? And the crazy thing is, this is not something that's new to me. This is something that I've actually experienced. And I remember going through oftentimes I talk about my first year being my worst year, which is true. My first year is definitely was definitely my worst year, but I don't often talk about my second worst year. So as I kind of set this up and frame this, I want you guys to put in the chat. Let me know what year you think was the worst year for me. The second worst year. My first, the first year was definitely the worst year, right? What do you think my second worst year was? Because I think that a lot of people can resonate with the reason why this was my actual second worst year. So let me know what you think it was. It's crazy because my first year was definitely my worst year. But in the summer between my first year and when, man, I remember if I could tell you about it, like we had students where I couldn't manage the classroom. I did not know how to build strong relationships. I wasn't planning lessons effectively because my students' assessment data was going backwards. Like they were scoring lower midway through the year. I wasn't doing well my first year. But the reason why is because I thought I had to be just like somebody else in order to make the impact that I felt like I was called to make. So I was kidnapping strategies from a whole bunch of different people instead of implementing and leveraging my uniqueness. So once I started doing that, things got better for me. So year two actually was a pretty good year. And year three, as a matter of fact, I was teacher of the year for the first time. So after struggling so much first year and figuring some things out, finding my teacher ID, then year three, I was actually teacher of the year. So year three was my worst year, but Katira was the first one to guess, and she hit it on the head. It was year four for me. All right. Not even post-pandemic, Regina. All right, Joanna, you got it too. It was year four for me. And year four is crazy because I thought that I had it all figured out. Again, I was coming off of teacher of the year for year three, I was teacher of the year. Year four, I thought I had it all figured out. But watch what changed for me. Watch what happened. After year three, where I was teaching in Huntsville, Alabama, I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. So when I moved to Charlotte, everything was new. It was a new curriculum. There was a new group of students. There was a new grade level I was teaching. I felt newness everywhere I looked. And year four was so rough for me because I felt like a new teacher all over again. And that just makes me think for a second. As I see people here on the call, I know we're not all in our first year. I know we're not all new teachers. This is called new teacher impact, but there's a reason why we call it new teacher big impact. And I want to ask yourself these questions. This upcoming school year or this current school year, if you're currently in it, are you going to be teaching in a different building or a different country than you were before? Are you going to be teaching a different grade level or a different subject area? Are there going to be different goals or different expectations? And most important, are you going to be different teaching a different group of students? Because if you're answering yes to any or all of these questions, to any of these questions, you can consider yourself a new teacher because there's so much newness. And the reason why this is new teacher big impact, some people say, Mr. Williams, I've been teaching for 13 years. I've been teaching for 27 years. Can I still listen? I want to make sure that you're in the right place. You can consider yourself a new teacher if you're stepping into this school year and looking at anything that's on your screen and saying, yeah, I'm experiencing some newness and I just want to be the teacher I've always wanted to be and make the impact that I always was called to make. All right. So if that's you. Relax, sit back. You are in the right place. I say new teacher, you are a new teacher. And actually, at the end of it, you will be a new teacher creating a big impact. Right. So for me, I thought I had it all figured out. When I stepped into the classroom in Charlotte, North Carolina, I thought that I had it. I thought that I was ready, right? D said, "Listen, I've been teaching for 35 years, but I'm in a new school." Yes, D, you're a new teacher, right? Oh, I love. Come on, Regina's getting excited for D. That's it. Keep it going. I love the energy, right? I thought I had it all figured out. So when I was in the school, the reason why that year was so bad, let me show you why. And it wasn't as bad as my first year. When I came in, I already knew how to manage the classroom. That wasn't my struggle. So students were managed, I was good at building relationships. I could manage the classroom. But where my struggle was is I didn't know how to grow students academically. Is anybody else there with me? Right. So I was seeing success in some areas. I wasn't completely like, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. I just didn't know how to help students grow. So I was teaching kind of like to the middle. I wasn't accelerating my high students. I wasn't supporting my low students. I was just teaching to the middle, and the data was reflecting it. I also didn't know how to facilitate small group instruction, right? I didn't really know how to deal with students with IEPs or with special accommodations. I just knew how to teach kind of one way. You know what I'm saying? And that was a detriment because now I'm not helping to grow students. So the school that I was in was really heavy in professional development. And watch this, they thought they were doing an amazing job. And what they did was they made sure that everybody in the school was on a professional development track. Now, the track that I was in the new teacher track because they said anybody who was new to the profession or new to the school has to be in the new teacher track. And everybody on the new teacher track received professional development over classroom management. Now, if you were listening, I just said classroom management was not my struggle. My struggle was differentiation. My struggle was scaffolding. My struggle was academic proficiency. That was my struggle. But they made sure that we got trained weekly on classroom management. So the trainings that I was forced to go to were not aligned to the struggles that I had. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm still struggling and I'm going to these trainings and they're irrelevant. They're not helpful. Like I mean, you can always grow in certain areas, but that wasn't my pain point. Classroom management was not the biggest thing that I was struggling with. So receiving this irrelevant training was not helpful for the things I needed in my classroom. Then to make matters even worse, when they would come in and come into my classroom and view what they would grade me based off of their rubric. And I'll never forget this. I remember this one observer one time. She was from district. I don't even know if she'd ever taught before. You know how that goes. But she was from district. She came in with her clipboard and she sat in the back of my classroom and listened to the feedback that she gave me, y'all. She said, the lesson was good. You build strong relationships, you manage the classroom well, but you don't have a teacher voice. I promise y'all I'm not making this up. She said, "You don't have a teacher voice. You have more of a radio voice, right? I want you to change your voice to be more of a teacher voice because that's what's going to make the impact in your classroom." Now, I don't know about you, but I didn't know that there was only one type of effective voice in the classroom, right? I didn't know. But that was literally no exaggeration. That was literally the feedback that she gave me. She said, "You need a teacher voice. You have a radio voice." So I'm receiving professional development that's not helpful, not targeted towards the thing that I actually need. And then I'm being asked to become somebody else. I'm being asked to change my voice. I'm being asked to do something that's not me. And then the cherry on top of all of it is that I'm in this school where the culture and climate, we just don't necessarily mix. Like we just don't necessarily vibe with other people on my team. So I don't feel like I'm supported. And the principal, she was amazing. She was great, but her and there were just differences. I didn't feel like I could go to her with anything. I didn't feel like I can go to her with everything. I didn't feel like I could go to her with the questions that I had. So I felt like I wasn't supported. The people on my team, it's funny for anybody who's watched The Office, we had this one contest towards the end of the year, and they said, well, not a contest, but they were giving awards away. And they said, they wanted to give awards to people that act like people in office or something like that. They said, which office character are you most like? And I received Stanley. So if you don't know what the office is, Stanley is this ho hum older guy. He never wants to do anything. He clocks out at 4:59 p.m. and like don't mess with me. When they're going to hang out, he's like, no, I'm good. I don't want to go. And he just always has like a blank face. He rarely does he, get in the mix of what's going on the show. And if you've been on the call with me for 14 minutes, does that seem like my personality? Do I seem like somebody who's going to sit in the back of the room and not interact? But that's how they viewed me because we just didn't connect. I didn't feel love and support from my own teammates. We teach the same students, teach the same grade level. I just didn't feel it. Right. So I tried going to their professional criteria was like, no, that's definitely not what you sound like. I tried going to the professional development sessions that were irrelevant and that wasn't helpful. Right. I tried listening to their feedback, which was asking me to be like somebody else. That wasn't helpful. And I tried to lean on my administrators for support, and that wasn't helpful. The reason why I struggled so much that first year is because I kept trying these things and it really wasn't helpful. But I figured out after that what I really needed what I really needed what I really needed was to take control of my career. I needed to put it into my own hands. What I really needed was to leverage my unique abilities, not hide my radio voice. I believe that my radio voice is kind of engaging, right? Not hide my radio voice. I need to leverage my unique abilities so that I can make the impact that only I can make. I needed to surround myself with supportive people, not people who were in competition with me, but people who wanted to see me win, people who wanted to work with me. You understand what I'm saying? And I needed to learn the skills that I needed to master, not be trained on skills that I already was proficient in, but where my deficiency was, that's where I needed to find the training. That's what I needed to improve on. So what I decided to do was to do these three things. I said, you know what? I'm going to be who I am. I'm gonna use my teacher identity. I'm going to be the person that I was made to be so I can make the impact I was called to make. I'm gonna surround myself with supportive people, even if it's not administrators, even if it's not people in my very same school building, but I'm gonna surround myself with supportive people. And most importantly, I'm gonna go after the skills that I know that I need. I'm not just going to sit back and wait for district to assign me professional development. I'm not just going to sit back and go on the PD track that they put me in because I'm a new teacher. No, I'm going to go find the skills that I need in order to be great. And when I did that, that's what allowed me to transition from a terrible teacher to that two-time teacher of the year. Yep. Year 5, I became teacher of the year for the second time. This time I was in Charlotte. First time I was in Huntsville, Alabama. Second time I was in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's what allowed me to eventually earn my national board certification. Right. That's what eventually allowed me to become an administrator. And we improved the school letter grade during the 2 years I was there. That's what allowed me to now travel the world and train other teachers to do the same thing. I created I took that, what I learned, and I said, okay, wow. When I struggled so much as a first year, it's because I was kidnapping everybody else's strategies. I had to learn how to leverage my uniqueness. But new teachers aren't the only ones that struggle. Like first year teachers aren't the only ones that struggle. People struggle after a couple of years. And here's why. It's because of the three things I just named. We're being forced sometimes professional development that's irrelevant. We are in buildings where we don't find the support that we need. And we're being asked to be something that is not who we are. So what I said was, I'm going to train other teachers, and what we are going to be able to see. What I'm super, 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 super excited tonight is we are going to learn the effective teacher success formula so that you can be the teacher that you've always wanted to be and make the impact that you've always wanted to make. All right. So if you're ready for that, if you are excited, put ready in the chat, or a fire emoji, or some, or exclamation point, something to let me know that you're ready to learn this effective teacher success formula so that you can be the teacher you've always wanted to be and make the impact that you've always wanted to make. I'm the type of person that, in order for this to be a workshop, highly effective workshop, I need to make sure that there's engagement. All right. So Michelle's looking like she's ready. Amy's looking like she's ready. Katira is, I hope I'm saying it right. I've been saying it this whole time. Katira's looking like she's ready. All right. Aaron, Latassa, Leslie. All right, let's do it. Cheryl. All right. All right. Here we go. If you're ready, I'm ready. Brandy, Kimberly, let's do it. What I'm going to reveal to you right here, right now, for those that are taking notes and everybody else, is the 3D effective teacher success formula. It's the 3D effective teacher success formula. All right, I see you, Regina. I see you, Mandy. It's the 3D effective teacher success formula. 3Ds because they all start with D. I had to synthesize it and put it in a way that you would be able to remember and understand. The first thing that you have to do in order to be the teacher you've always wanted to be is to discover your unique impact method. Discover your unique impact method, because there's something about you that is special, that is unique, that is amazing, that is going to allow you to make the impact that literally only you can make. Not changing your voice to have a teacher voice, right? But being who you are and making the impact that you were called to make. But first, you have to discover what your unique impact method is going to be, because your unique impact method is not mine. The next thing that we have to do is decide on your system of support. It's not always going to be the administrator. It's not always going to be a teammate. It's not always going to be an instructional coach. You have to decide on your system of support, because if we don't have the system of support, then we won't be able to go as far as we want in this educational journey. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you go with others, right? Decide on your system of support. And then lastly, it's going to be real simple. We're going to develop your transformation plan. Not sit back and wait for hopefully somebody to assign you the correct PD, not for somebody to send you to a workshop, to send you to a conference that hopefully you get some information. But we're going to talk about how you can develop your transformation plan so that you can build the skills that you actually need to have the impact that you've always wanted to make. I'm excited about this. Listen, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't taught this live before. I've taught it in my head a couple of times, but I haven't taught this portion live before. So if you need me to slow down, if you need me to speed up, it will be super helpful. I'm looking at the chat. It will be super helpful the more feedback you give me. Like if that was a good point, like stay right there. Like just let me know because I've literally never taught this live before. But this is the success formula that I used to help me transition from that terrible teacher to a two-time teacher of the year. You told me you're ready. I believe that you're ready. We'll dive right into this thing. The first step is to discover your unique impact method. Discovering your unique impact method. And I've done a lot of research on this. And I wrote a book recently that's called 99% of Human and 1% Amazing. And oftentimes people ask me where that title came from. And it came from the fact that biologically, watch this, biologically, we're not as different as we think we are. Like I always knew that we had two different types of DNA, right? I always knew we had two different types of DNA. Leslie, I see you. I appreciate you. Let's do it. But I didn't. I thought that all of our DNA is what made us different. But what I learned recently is that we have coding DNA and we have non-coding DNA. There are 3 billion base pairs of DNA in our body, but the majority is actually non-coding DNA. And non-coding DNA is like what it sounds like. It doesn't produce any sort of code. It just exists so that we exist. All living organisms have non-coding DNA. Look it up after this. As a matter of fact, about half of our DNA, 47%, is the same as a fruit fly because we both have the same non-coding DNA. Well, 47% of it, right? A dog, we're at 84% of the same non-coding DNA. A chimpanzee, we're at 97% of the same non-coding DNA. Like the non-coding DNA, it just helps living organisms to exist. The coding DNA is what differentiates you from everybody else. And out of the 3 billion base pairs of DNA that's in your body, only 20,000 base pairs are coding DNA. It's your coding DNA that communicates your genetic code, that communicates with your genetic code to produce your traits and determine who you are. And the coding DNA, only 20,000 base pairs, that's 1%. Literally less than 1% of your DNA is different from everybody else. And that's why I say that 99% of your DNA is what makes you a human, but there's 1% that makes you amazing. There's 1% that makes you unique. There's 1% that separates you from everybody on this call, everybody in your school building, literally everybody in the world is only separated by 1% of their DNA. And I just have to believe that that was done with intentionality. Like God could have orchestrated it in such a way that we had more similarities, that we all look the same, but we are intentionally made different. We are intentionally made with just 1% that separates us from everybody else who's ever lived. Nobody else on the planet has access to your 1%. But the crazy thing is, so many people take that 1% and they view it as if it's a deficiency. They say, oh, my voice doesn't sound right. They say, oh, I have to be different than who I am. Like a lot of us hide the 1% that sets us apart. We're ashamed of it. We think that sometimes we can't make the impact because of who we are. Say, man, if I would have dropped the weight, oh man, if I was a black male, then I would connect with these students better. Oh, if I was taller, if I had a deeper voice, so we look at all these different things that we need to change, and we look at our 1% and we view it as if it's a deficiency. And if you view your 1% as if it's a deficiency, you'll operate as if it is. But if you view your 1% as if it's your amazing, you'll operate with confidence. And I need you to step into this school year confidently knowing that your differences are not your deficiencies. Your differences are not your drawbacks. Your differences are not your downfalls. But if you think about it, it's when you let your differences live that you can make a difference in somebody else's life. I get excited about that sometimes because I remember struggling so much as a new teacher to comparing myself to everybody else, saying I need to be more like that person in order to make the impact. And I need somebody to understand right here, right now, that you don't need to change who you are to make the impact that you were called to make. You do not. You're amazing just the way that you are. Okay. So, in order to discover your unique impact, In order to discover your unique impact, there's just a couple of things that you need. Katira's like, come on, let's go. What? Let's go 1%. Yes. Right, Dominique? We are living in the 100% true, authentic self. All right. And here's what we do. In order to discover your unique impact method, you have to leverage your uniqueness to make the difference. Leverage your uniqueness to make a difference. Not worried about what other people are doing, not worried about what other people are using to see success. Man, I do this whole workshop where I help to show you the difference between principles and strategies. And strategies can work in particular classrooms, but not every strategy is going to work in every classroom. A strategy that may work in my classroom may not work in your classroom because there are differences about us. But when you leverage your uniqueness, you can make the impact that only you can make. And then you want to make sure that you do a self-assessment to see what makes you special. Because to us, it's just natural, right? Like, for example, some people don't like public speaking. If that's you, let me know. Some people don't like public speaking. I love it. Like the bigger the crowd, the more excited I get. Like, if I can speak in front of 50,000 people, I'll be super excited. Like I just love it. I get energy from it. And somebody, your heart just dropped when I said 50,000 people. Somebody said, "Are you?" No, absolutely not. But for me, it's just so natural that I don't recognize that as one of my superpowers. And for you, it's the same thing. There's something that you do that scares the living daylights out of me. But for you, it's just natural. But so we're going to do a self assessment to make sure you see what makes you special. I need somebody to hear this. You don't have to become anybody else in order to make the impact that you were created to make. You just have to be who you were made to be. As you're continuing to grow in skills and as you're continuing to learn these things, you can change the things that you do without ever changing who you are. You can change the things that you do without ever changing who you are. Okay, is that all right? Is that okay? Is that helpful? That's step one. Discover your unique impact method. Was that all right to help you discover your unique impact method? In a couple of minutes, I'm actually going to walk you through an exercise that's going to help you to self-assess. But right now, are we seeing the picture, seeing the frame, and seeing why it's important for you to live in your amazing? Right? Ashley's like, yeah, absolutely. I love it. All right. So that was just step one. That was just step one. The second D of the D3 system is to decide on your system of support. Decide on your system of support. Why? Because sometimes we think that the support is going to come from administrators. Sometimes we think that the support is going to come from somebody on our team. It's going to come from a different person. But I want you to think about it like this. Sometimes we view support as a thing that we stand on, like a foundation, right? We look at support. I need something to hold me up when we think about support. But I want to shift your mindset and shift your imagery about what support looks like when you say you want to be supported. I want you to think about wolves. How do wolves support each other? We always talk about, wolves in the animal kingdom. Wolves, they go out and when they go hunting, they don't hold each other up. They don't build a tower. They surround each other. When they go out hunting, they want to make sure that nobody's left behind. The pack moves together. They surround one another in order to keep each other safe and supported. So each wolf feels supported because they are surrounded. I want you to think about a school of fish. Fish are really small creatures and they're actually really towards the bottom of the food chain. If a fish is swimming all by itself, it might get snatched up by a whale, it get snatched up by a shark, it might get snatched up by something. But the way that fish support each other is that they surround each other in schools of fish because there's strength in numbers. So each fish feels supported because they are surrounded. You're starting to get it. We've been watching the Olympics recently, and Simone Biles is doing her thing. She's doing her thing, right? I know she fell off the balance beam the other day, but other than that, she's doing she's doing her thing. And when we look at the pictures, yes, she's the one standing up holding the gold medal, but you know for a fact that she has a team behind her. You know for a fact she has a manager. I've seen her on so many commercials. I know she has a manager. She has a personal trainer. She has a personal chef. She feels supported not because she's standing on the podium. She feels supported because she is surrounded. And what I need you to understand, especially as we step into the school year, for those that are saying, I don't even know how I'm going to make it because I don't necessarily have the support. If you feel as if you're not supported, it's because you're not surrounded. It's because you're not surrounded. Support doesn't mean that there's somebody beneath you holding you up. That gets tiring. Have you ever tried that? If you have a child or a pet, if you take a child or a pet and you hold them up in the air, your arms start to wiggle, your arms start to shake. It gets really tiring. But if you are surrounding people, that's what support really looks like. So when I say decide on your system of support, what I'm saying is don't rely on one vehicle of support. You need a system to surround you. Not just, okay, I'm going to go to the administrator when I need help. Because if the administrator is busy, if the administrator is doing something else, if the administrator is not able to assist you, then now you feel like I'm not supported. Don't rely on just one vehicle of support. Make sure that you surround yourself with supportive people, right? And be intentional about who you rely on for support, right? I see Lori commenting. I was just texting Lori earlier today. We're going to drop some information about Lori tomorrow. But I'm surrounding myself with supportive people to help the goal and the vision come true. Ashley said, make sure that we are surrounded and be intentional about the people who you're going to rely on for support, because not everybody's going to be able to go with you where you want to go. I'm gonna leave that right there. But does that visual help make sense? Right? Is this good? Is this making sense? Is this helpful? Right? Is this helpful to see? Okay, cool. One of the reasons why I'm not feeling supported is because I'm not necessarily surrounded. All right. And that's number one and number two. I told you it's a quick D3 method. All right. Regina, I'm glad that is making sense. I'm glad that it's hitting home. Good job, Katira. We got it. Here's the next thing. Develop your transformation plan. Develop your transformation plan. What I mean by that is you have to decide what it is that you need in order to grow. If we just sit back and wait for administration, right? We just sit back and wait for administration to assign professional development, or we just sit back and we wait for district to send us somewhere. We wait for the yearly Get Your Teach On conference or Teach Your Heart Out conference or whatever. Like we just sit back and wait. We're wasting so much time and opportunity to actually grow. And what I need you to understand is that you can definitely and absolutely be the teacher that you've always wanted to be, even if you're not currently right there. All you've got to do is build that bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Right? Think about a constructed bridge. I grew up in Staten Island, New York, and I think the longest suspension bridge, I think still in the US, is the Verrazano Bridge, and that's in New York. And we drove across, I think it's like 26 miles. No, it's not 26 miles. I don't know how long it is. It's long, but it's definitely not 26 miles. Sorry. But maybe 2 miles. But it's the longest suspension bridge. It takes us from Staten Island to Brooklyn, right across the water. The other way that because I used to be a commuter on the way to school. The other way that I would get to school, I literally had to take a ferry. That's the only way off of the island. Either you're going to take a bridge or you are on a boat. So I would take the ferry for 30 minutes and the train for an hour to get to my school. So it was an hour and a half commute. But anyway, saying all that to say, either we took the ferry or we took the bridge. The bridge takes you from this island to that island, from where you are to where you want to be. And what I need you to understand on the educational journey is the bridge from where you are to where you want to be is constructed of skills you have yet to acquire. I'll pause right there. Somebody wants to screenshot it. I'm gonna say it again. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be is constructed of skills that you have yet to acquire. You can be the teacher that you've always dreamt of being. You can make the impact that you've always dreamt of making. It's there, it's attainable. The only reason why you aren't there yet is because you haven't acquired the skills that you need to do the thing that you have to do to get to the place where you want to be. Is that making sense? And that's not just in I'm sorry, Valerie, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down. So you're saying a mouthful. I'm gonna break it down. Here we go. That's not just in teaching. That's in life. I told this story yesterday on New Teacher Big Impact Live. So I'm gonna say it again. Like a couple of years ago, my wife and I we got married right out of college. We got married at 21, right out of college. When we got married, we were eating ramen noodles, hot dogs, Hot Pockets. Don't judge me, y'all. Don't judge me. Like we still eating like dorm style food, and we were just like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Like I'm not there. I vowed to myself I will never eat another pack of ramen noodles as long as I live. Right. So I envisioned being able to prepare a meal. I envisioned being able to cook for my family, for my kids. Like I envisioned being able to eat food that we actually was healthy for us and was good and tasted well. Right. So what I did was I went on YouTube, started researching some things, or watched some TikTok had some good recipes. Started looking up some recipes, started buying some ingredients, and over the last 10 years, I've just kind of built up a skill. Yesterday, my wife said, "Babe, I'm hungry," and I made some curry chicken, some macaroni and cheese, some yams, some asparagus, and some cornbread on a Tuesday night. Like because that's what she wanted to eat. I said, "I got you." 10 years ago, I couldn't do that. 10 years ago, I was like, "You want the ramen noodles? You want the creamy, or you you want the creamy, or you want the spicy?" That's what it would have been 10 years ago. But what I'm saying is, I had a vision for where I wanted to end up. I wasn't pleased with where I was, so I acquired a skill to do the thing I needed to do to get the result I wanted to have. The skill that I acquired was learning how to cook. That I was able to then cook so that now I'm proud of my cooking. What I'm saying to you is you can be proud of your career. You can be proud of your classroom. You can be proud of the effect that you're having on students when you acquire the skills that you need in order to do the thing that you have to do. And that doesn't come from sitting back and waiting for somebody to assign you to an effective professional development. That takes you taking control of your career and going out and getting the thing that you know that you need. So in order to do that, it's for Michelle. You coming over to eat? I didn't say that it was good. I said that I made it. So, I mean, you might be able to judge it. I don't know. I don't know, but I know that we liked it. Develop your transformation plan. Here's what I mean by that. Start with the vision of where you want to be. What do you want the classroom to look like? What do you want the classroom to sound like? What do you want the classroom to feel like? What do you want the classroom to be like? Start with that vision and then do an honest self assessment of where you currently are. All right, currently our students aren't like they're not where they need to be. They're not doing this, they're not doing that. Do an honest self-assessment. And then lastly, build the bridge by asking the question why until it hurts. Like until it hurts. Why? So you may say, man, these students are not focused in class. Why? Because they're on their phones, they keep asking to go to the bathroom, they keep getting up and moving around. Why? They're bored. Why? Because I'm not engaging. So the bridge that you need to build is student engagement. You see what I'm saying? So, because sometimes people say, I don't know what I don't know. And that's true. You don't know what you don't know. But if you keep asking yourself why, until you get to the root, then you can identify the skill that you need to build that bridge. Is that all right? Okay. I'm I'm hope. Are you seeing how this can help you become the teacher that you've always wanted to be? Are you seeing how this can help you make the impact that you've always wanted to make? Right? Those were the three D's. Those were the three D's, right? Ashley's like, yep, ask why until it hurts. You got to be real with yourself sometimes. Ask why until it hurts. How should you self-assess your students? Good question, Aaron. I'm gonna circle back to that. How should you self-assess your students? One, you can't self-assess your students. You can encourage your students to self-assess themselves, and that is going to be under the evaluation principle, which we'll talk about in just a couple of moments, right? But this was literally the system that you need to employ this 3D effective teacher success formula. When you do these three things, you can be the teacher you've always wanted to be. And the reason that I know that it works, awesome, Leslie. I'm glad that this is helpful for you. Helpful for you. The reason that I know that it works is because that is the exact system that I use for my mentees. I want you to meet Michelle real quick. Real quick. My mentee, Michelle, you see her there on the screen. She was a new teacher because she started teaching in Texas. She taught for about 9 years. Then she left to have her children for a couple of years, 5, 6 years. And then she came back into education when she moved to Charlotte. Well, when she moved to Charlotte, she became my mentee. And I coached her on this D3 system. Right. I helped her find her uniqueness. Right. I helped her to be able to support. Maybe we had such a supportive community there. I helped surround her with support. And I helped her to find those professional development opportunities. And in doing so, She became her school's teacher of the year. I was so proud of her. She became her school's teacher of the year. You can celebrate, Michelle. You can celebrate. You can see her with the flowers up at the top. But let me make this picture big real quick. Because if you notice, at the top right, she has long hair. Over here in the middle, she has short hair. Because these pictures were taken 2 years apart. At the top right, she was teacher of the year for her school. At the bottom middle, she kept doing her thing and she became Amazon Future Engineer Teacher of the Year, which is a national award. A national award. Oh, I was so proud of her. I was so excited for the things that she was doing. Yes, congratulations. Yes, Katira. Congratulations to Michelle. I'll let her know that you said congrats to her. And I was just so super excited. We actually recorded a podcast episode about it recently. And it's not because that she's this magnificent, like over the top, type of teacher. She was a new teacher, just like the rest of us. She did this because she mastered the 3D system. So they only have one question. The question I have for you is, what's stopping you? What's stopping you? What's stopping you from being the teacher you've always wanted to be and making the impact that you've always wanted to make? Like, I just laid out the formula for you. Literally, if you do these 3 things and you apply these 3 things, you can definitely be the teacher you've always wanted to be. What's stopping you? All right. Somebody saying, well, the thing that's stopping me is I don't necessarily know how to find my uniqueness. Okay. I got you. I got you. My goal is always to help. Okay. So check this out. If you want to discover your unique impact method, I'm just going to give you all 4 questions. Here are 4 questions that you can ask yourself. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes we look at things and we say, we look at ourselves. I'll move myself all the way out the way for somebody that wants to take a picture. And we'll say, man, I don't know what is amazing about me. Okay, well, what do you do without thinking about it that other people praise? Or what do people come to you for advice about? All right, what are some things that come easy to you that are a challenge for others? And a huge one is, if you're never able to do these things again, you'll feel incomplete. What are those 3 things? What are those things, right? And the reason why I want you to think about that is because as you start answering these questions, that's what's going to help you to reveal what I call your zone of excellence. And as a matter of fact, I wrote a whole ebook on how walking you through answering those questions effectively so that you can find your zone of excellence, because I didn't want any excuses. I didn't want anybody to say, oh yeah, you said that, I should live in my 1% amazing, but I don't even know what that is. I want to walk you through how to find that. And at the end, I'll show you how to get a copy for free. All right. But so if what's standing in your way is you not knowing how to find your 1% amazing, I just unblock that for you. Go find your 1% amazing. All right. Now, somebody's saying, well, what's standing in my way is I don't even know how to surround myself with supportive people. My administrator are not supportive. The teachers in my building are not supporting me. The culture, the climate is cold. Like, I don't even know how to find supportive people to surround myself with. Okay, I got you. I'm trying to make this thing easy for you. Here we go. Here's how you find supportive people to surround yourself with. When I think about surrounding somebody, and you can take a picture, screenshot of this too. When I think about surrounding something, think about the Wolves, think about the School of Fish, think about Simone Biles and her team. In order to be surrounded, you need people ahead of you, people beside you, and people behind you. That's the only way you can be surrounded. You can't be surrounded if there's only somebody ahead of you, because then you're vulnerable on all the other sides. You can't be surrounded if there's only people beside you. You get it, right? So in order to be surrounded, you need people ahead of you, beside you, and behind you. Let me give you the criteria of what you need to look for the people that can surround you. I, I hope that this is helpful for somebody. Check this out. You need people ahead of you, people beside you on the other side. You have 2 sides, and then people behind you. I'm gonna make this bigger again. It's not about me. I'm gonna make sure you get this information. Here we go. For the people that are ahead of you, I want you to think about somebody who has been where you are and is where you eventually want to be. That could be a mentor teacher. That could be an instructional coach. That could be an administrator. That could be a teacher trainer, something like that. But somebody who's been where you are and is where you eventually want to be. Good, Yolanda. I'm glad that is helpful. Now, for one, you need to be surrounded. So you need somebody beside you. For the person that you need beside you, think about someone who's going through the struggle with you. That could be a team member, a co-teacher, a PLC member, a grade level coworker, a social media group member, like an online community member, right? But somebody who's going through the struggle with you, who's able to understand it, who's able to understand your struggle, who's able to assist you. On the other side of you, you need someone who has your best interest at heart because they're going to protect your well-being. That could be a therapist, a family member, a best friend, a pastor, a spouse, a lover, whatever you want to call them. Just somebody who's always going to be looking out for you. Somebody who's going to be making sure you ate. Somebody's going to be making sure that is going to be your accountability partner to hold you to your expectations. But somebody who's always going to have your best interest in mind. You need that person to help surround you. And then lastly, behind you, and this one is super cool to me, you need someone who you can be an inspiration to. They look up to you, and in them looking up to you, it motivates you. For that, I want you to think about a child, think about a mentee, think about a student, think about a follower if you may be a social media influencer, think about a younger sibling, a new teacher, but somebody who you know is looking up to you. So it pushes you to say, I got to show up because I know they're looking at me. Right? I got to do this thing well. I have to do this thing right. I have to be the best version of myself because I know that they're following after me and looking up to me. If you can surround yourself with this criteria of people, could you imagine? Could you imagine what your career would look like? Do you really think you'll be walking around saying, "Oh, I don't feel supported"? No, because even if you go to an administrator that is not able to support you, you have a mentor teacher in the building, or you have a coworker that is assisting you, or you have somebody that you can text in the social media group online. I don't know. They have so many different social media groups where maybe you have all ELA teachers, in Wisconsin. I don't know. Right? Just text them, listen, y'all, I'm struggling today. Right? Or going to a therapist. Right? Or realizing, man, I have to keep going because I know that these new teachers are looking at me and I have to give them an inspiration. I have to give them a model, right? So what I'm saying is, in order to feel the support, you won't feel unsupported once you are surrounded. You won't feel unsupported once you are surrounded, right? Right? I'm glad that this is so helpful for you, Katira. And somebody might be thinking, I don't even, but there's nobody in my building. There's nobody in my building that can assist me. Check this out. We are in the age where there's so much support in social media. So many social media, online presence, groups, communities. So, for example, I want to show you this to you real quick. And we're not going to read it. I'm going to leave it small intentionally. We're not going to read it. But check this out. Somebody sent me a message, direct message on Instagram, and she was saying, "Hey, I came across your page, and I would really need some advice. I'm a new teacher." So you can see it's a lot of information. This is what she wrote. There's a lot of information, and what you'll notice is as I start to scroll here, is I responded to her via social media in voice notes because I didn't want to type a whole lot. I don't do a lot of typing. So it's like 3 minutes worth of voice notes of me just saying, "Man, thank you for sharing it. Thank you for your transparency. I've actually struggled with classroom management myself. So I'm giving her tips on how to start her year. She's starting school next week." And then she responded with some voice notes, and we've just been going back and forth. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because you can find support even if it's not somebody in the building. But if you surround yourself with enough supportive people, you'll feel supported. One of the reasons why we don't feel supported is because we're not surrounded. But surround yourself with supportive people, even if they're not people that you can touch, right? Even if it's people that maybe are in an online space. So if that's the reason why, if that's what's stopping you, now it no longer is. Somebody else is saying, "Okay, well, the thing that's stopping me is that I don't even know how to develop my transformation plan." I'm gonna show you this one last thing that's gonna blow your mind. There are 6 principles of effective instruction. If you don't know where to start, if you have no idea what skills you need to acquire in order to build your bridge, I'm gonna give you the skills right here, right now, because these are the proven principles of effective instruction. Daryl Williams Jr. did not make this up. These are the principles that if you can make sure that you master these principles, you will be an effective teacher. These are the things that all effective teachers do. And if you can master all 6 of these things, you'll be great. You ready? You ready? Watch this. I mean, you know what? I'll just show you all of them and I'm gonna move my face out of the way again because it's not about me. I need to make sure that you get this. Screenshot it, take a picture of it, do what you have to do. But these are the 6 principles of effective instruction. It starts with encouraging, making sure that you formulate a belief in students that they can actually do the work that you're going to set before them. And then it goes to engaging, which means you're going to manage the classroom and you're going to capture student attention so that you can increase their retention. Then it goes to the empower principle, which means you're going to deliver innovative lessons to make sure that students actually receive a transformation. Then you master the principle of evaluation, which means you're going to effectively assess students so that you can determine what they know so that you can give them what they need. Then effective teachers know how to extend, like they reflect over their practice and they continue to grow and expand their impact inside and outside of the classroom. And most importantly, the final principle is the principle of of endurance. Effective teachers know how to prioritize self-care so that they can continue showing up. Right? You see it, Laura. You see it. You see it. All the E's, the 6 E's of effective instruction. Because teachers need to be able to assist and help other people. When I say endure, it doesn't mean just grin and bear it. It means create systems, learning how to manage stress, learning how to manage burnout, learning how to put time management systems in place so that you're not overwhelming and overworking yourself. Teachers that understand how to master all 6 of these things on the board or on the screen right now, that is how we master effective instruction. And Aaron saying, could you give an example of what it looks like to engage the students? Absolutely. Engaging students means that you create an environment. I'll show my face now so you can see me. Um, Engaging students mean that you create an environment where students can receive the information. So what that means is, and I'll give you actually literal examples in a second, but what that means is we're going to manage the classroom. So classroom management is under the engage principle because I need students to be able to sit down and focus and pay attention. But also we're going to use teacher moves that keep students' attention. And that doesn't necessarily only mean utilize technology and things like that. It does, but it also means even in the way that you deliver information, learning storytelling techniques, right? Some of the reason why people are still on the call right now is because, okay, cool. I've been telling stories and weaving them in. And when you tell stories, it increases retention, right? So student engagement is just making sure that you as a teacher are doing things to make sure that students are paying attention to the information that you're giving. And if we can ensure that they're paying attention, that's how we can increase retention. I'll show you again, Aaron, a couple of literal steps that you can use in just a moment. All right. But with that being said, somebody said, okay, the thing that's stopping me is I don't know how to find my 1% amazing. Somebody said, well, I don't know where to find my support system. Well, I showed you where you can find your support system. Somebody said, I don't know the skills that I need. Well, I just showed you the 6 principles of effective instruction. So now the only question I have for you is what's stopping you? What is stopping you? This is the system that I use to become a 2-time teacher of the year. This is the system that I trained Michelle on so that she can become a teacher of the year. This is the system that you can use to be the very best version of yourself. But somebody's still saying, well, it's not me. There's something standing in my way. Somebody might be saying the thing that's standing in my way is my environment. Right? You might say, I don't want to disrupt others. You're telling me to live in my authenticity. You're telling me to be my 1% amazing, but I don't want to disrupt the cultures and norms of the building. Well, to the person that's thinking that, to the person that's saying, my environment is standing in my way. The school culture won't allow for that. I can't be my 1% amazing. What I want to say to you is, are you a thermometer or are you a thermostat? A thermostat, well, a thermometer shows up into the room and tells you what the temperature is, but it can't affect the temperature. A thermometer is able to tell what the temperature is, but a thermostat is a game changer. A thermostat changes the temperature of the room. A thermostat makes a difference. So the question that I have for you, for the person that's saying, "Well, I can't be my 1% amazing, and the culture of the school won't allow for that. They want me to be a cookie cutter like everybody else. They want me to use my teacher voice, right? Are you a thermometer or a thermostat? Because if you want to truly make difference in the students' lives, you're gonna have to be a thermostat. You're gonna have to ruffle a couple of feathers. You're gonna have to do some damage for the good of children. You can't be afraid to be yourself. Thermostats change the temperature. I need you to step into that building and change the temperature, change the environment. Be your authentic self. Make the difference that you were called to make and do what's best for students. Don't be a thermostat. No, don't be a thermometer. Be a thermostat. Change the temperature. Somebody else is saying, well, for me, it's not my thermometer. I'm sorry, it's not my environment. It's my workload. I'm saying, man, I can't do one more thing. How can I do another thing? There's so many things I already have to do. This is just one more thing. Master the 3D effective teacher success formula. That's so much. This is one more thing on my plate. And to you, I would say, It is just one more thing. I'm not gonna lie. Some people like, it's not just one more thing. It's the thing that ends all things. No, no, no. It is one more thing. It is one more thing. But sometimes we've got to do just one more thing. Because this is the one more thing that makes all the one more things matter. My brother thought that putting oil in his car was one more thing. Yeah. His car is currently in a dozen pieces in a junkyard because it broke down on the highway 2 weeks ago. In his brain, he said, I'm already putting gas in it. I'm already putting air in the tires. Changing the oil is one more thing. Listen, his car broke down at 3 o'clock in the morning when he was driving. He's 18. No, he's 19. He called my other brother to come pick him up. They checked the oil. His oil pan was dry. Dry, 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 dry. His engine locked up, seized up. Engine pan was dry. I asked him, I said, Davier, that's his name. Davier, when is the last time you changed the oil? He said, yeah, he said, no. I said, "What do you mean no?" He said, I've never done that." He's had the car for 2 years, y'all. You've never changed the oil? That's just one more thing. But it's the one more thing that you needed to do to make sure the car is still running. And what I'm saying with the 3D teacher success formula, what I'm saying is by mastering these by mastering these 3 steps, okay, maybe it's one more thing. Maybe it's one more thing to find a supportive community. Maybe it's one more thing to go find the professional development that's gonna help you. Maybe it is one more thing. But it's the one more thing that makes all the rest of the things matter. So if you're saying it's your workload, this is what will help lighten the workload over time. Not eventually, not immediately. I'm not going to lie to you. Not immediately, but eventually. Because when you master these principles, eventually you can enjoy your career, move into it with confidence, and you can lighten the workload. Okay. Somebody's saying the thing standing in my way is my finances. I can't afford to pay for my own professional development. Or I can't afford to do it. I can't afford to do it. But the reason, what I would say to you is that you're looking at price instead of value. Don't look at the fact that don't look at the fact that you're losing $500 for an effective training, but that you are gaining the skills that you need to enjoy your career, fulfill your life's purpose. Like how much money would you exchange for peace? How much money would you exchange for serenity? How much money would you exchange about for to feel accomplished on a daily basis? Like literally let me know in the chat how much money you would exchange for that. Like how much money would you exchange to feel like you're walking in your purpose? Literally give me a dollar amount or a number. How much money would you exchange for you to be able to walk confidently being the teacher that you've always wanted to be, making the impact you've always wanted to make? How much money would you exchange for peace of mind? And the reason why I'm asking you to put it in the chat, the reason why I'm asking you for a dollar amount is because what we've got to do a better job. This is me kind of switching. This is me kind of switching into coach mode. Regina said, listen, you cannot put a price on peace, right? Michelle said, this is priceless, right? It's priceless because once you realize that the thing that you want to have is out there and attainable, you no longer see price, you see value. So yeah, if I'm asking you to pay for something that you don't necessarily want, you're like, oh, I can't afford that. But if you are in making an investment in something that's going to affect your peace, your overall well-being, it's not about the price, it's about the value. Right. So you're saying your finances are a thing that's standing in your way. You can't afford to pay for your own professional development. I think you can't afford not to, because it's what's going to help you to build that bridge from where you are to where you want to be. And if I can be honest, I was talking to somebody yesterday, 2 days ago, and he said he's already spent $400 on his classroom for just decor, $400 on the classroom decor. I know you want to have a classroom that's super attractive. I want you to make sure you have a classroom that's highly effective. If you can spend $400 on classroom decorations, you can invest in making sure that you build the skills that you need to actually be effective. And then lastly, somebody is saying that it's myself, right? I saw you earlier in the chat. I saw you said, it's me. It's me standing in my own way. It was Michelle. Michelle said, it's me standing in my own way. Well, I'm in coach mode right now. Let me help you. Somebody saying, I don't know that if it's going to work. I don't know. I'm afraid to fail. You tell me to be my uniqueness, but maybe they're right. Maybe I need to have a teacher voice. Maybe they're right. Maybe I do need to be this cookie cutter teacher that they want me to be. Maybe they're right. Maybe I do need to do this. You're afraid to fail? Listen, The fears that we don't face become our limitations. The fears that we don't face become our limitations, but when we fight fear, we find freedom. And I want you to find freedom in your career. I want you to find freedom in your passion. I want you to find freedom in your purpose. Remove the thought of fear and doubt in your way. You don't know if it's going to work. Nobody knows if anything is going to work. You do it, you try it. But I need you to understand, watch this. I need you to believe that you are smart enough, that you are brave enough, and that you are capable to make a pivot if things go south. Like if you start trying this thing and it's not working, I need you to believe that you are strong enough and smart enough to make an adjustment that is going to be best for kids. So if it's you that is standing in your own way, remove that. Stop fighting fear. Because when you fight fear, you find freedom. So again, I'll ask you, what is it that's stopping you? But this time I'll answer and I'll say, nothing. There's nothing stopping you. You can be the teacher that you've always wanted to be. You can make the impact that you've always wanted to make. There is nothing standing in your way. Every question that came up into your brain just now, I showed you how to overcome it. There's nothing standing in your way. The only thing that you have to do is master the 3D teacher success formula. The only thing that you have to do is discover your uniqueness, develop your system of support, and to develop your transformation action plan. You can do these three things. I guarantee you, you can be the teacher you've always wanted to be and make the impact that you've always wanted to make. Now, at this point of the call, there's always three different people in the room. You let me know who's in the room. Janessia, if I'm wrong, let me know. Janessia said, nothing is standing in my way. Actually, there's nothing standing in your way from being a teacher that you wanted to be. Right. And there's three different types of people on the call right now. So you let me know which one you are by putting a 1 or 2 or 3 in the chat. Person number 1 is saying, I see the importance of mastering these skills and I'm committed to the process, but I don't even know where to begin. Like, I don't even know where to get started. We spent an hour together. Well, I don't even know where to get started. If that's you, put a 1 in the chat. Somebody else is saying, all right, I realize that I'm utilizing some of these components. Like maybe I am finding my own professional development. Maybe I am surrounding myself with supported people. Maybe I am living in my uniqueness, right? Somebody's saying, I'm already utilizing some of the components of the formula, but I still want to make a bigger impact. If that's you, put a 2 in the chat. All right. So if it's a 1, if you're 1, like I see the importance, but I don't even know where to begin, or 2, like I am doing some of these things, but I want to make a bigger impact. You put a 2 in the chat. Or person number 3. Person number 3 is saying, I'm already the teacher I've always wanted to be, and I don't have anything else to learn. Let me see them 1s, 2s, and 3s in the chat. 1s, 2s, and 3s in the chat. Who are you? I need to know who I'm speaking to because after showing the formula, showing you that it works, showing you how it works, showing you how to find this system of support, right? I want to be able to make sure that I give you everything that you need to make it happen for you as quickly and effortlessly as possible. That's honestly my goal. All right, quickly and effortlessly. So I want to help you go further, faster. All right, we've got some twos. All right, we've got some twos. We've got some twos. We've got some ones. We've got some ones. And the beautiful thing is, I see you, Robin. All right. The beautiful thing is that we always have room to learn. Absolutely. I see you. The beautiful thing is, I don't see any threes. Maybe the threes are quiet, or maybe the threes already got off the call, but it's okay because for the ones and twos, with your permission, if you would allow me, I would love to show you the best way to master this system and the way that you can go further faster, right? The way that you can see success sooner. If that's all right, I'd like to spend the next 10 minutes just showing you the thing that you can have that's going to make all your dreams come true. Like the thing that you can have in order to actually get there. If you're ready for it, just let me know that you're good. Say go on, say go forward, say show it to me. If you would allow me to take 10 minutes to show you how to go further faster, right? Using this D3 teacher success formula. All right, Janessa, you ready? You got it. All I need is permission from one. As long as I have one, I got 10 minutes just to show you what I wanted to reveal to you, or what I know is going to is really going to help you be the teacher you've always wanted to be quickly and effortlessly, is called impact. And I'm super, 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 super excited about impact. I'm even excited about the graphic. I'm super excited about impact. Impact is now enrolling, and it's a brand new, oh my goodness, it's a brand new, fully comprehensive solution for all the things that we were talking about here on the call, right? If you're talking about you want to figure out how to master those proven principles, right? You want to figure out how to master them with your special skills so that you can make specific strategies. That's what impact is all about. Impact, what I like to say, it features the three, the three C's. Lori said she loves the graphic. No, yeah, yeah. No, we were all super excited about that. Impact features the three C's: courses, community, and coaching. Courses that will allow you to master the skills that you need to build that bridge to get from where you are to where you want to be. The community, so that you can surround yourself with supported individuals, even if they're not inside the school building, but other individuals from around the world, literally members from around the world that are going through some of the same things and that can help guide and support you, and access to coaching from me that will allow you to go further faster. Ultimately, we just want to make sure that you have your best school year yet. You already told me that these are some of the things that you're frustrated with. I know that you are annoyed with professional development that's not targeted, not relevant, not helpful, and boring, right? Right? You've already told me that that's frustrating to you, right? And yet you can put a yes. You can put a yes in the chat. You can put a yes in the chat. You told me that you are tired of feeling unsupported in your building. Tired of trying to lean on other people. They close you out. They shut the door. They're not there for you. Like, right? You told me that that's frustrating to you, right? You told me that you don't like making big financial investments only to see small incremental gains. And you told me that you're tired of stifling your creativity and uniqueness. They told me I had to change my voice, right? Yes, Katira said, yeah, absolutely. I'm tired of these things that are here on the screen. All of these things are frustrating. All of these things are annoying, but all these things are things that we consistently deal with, right? But could you imagine what your career would look like if you were able to engage in professional development that's relevant, that's interesting, that's engaging, but is most importantly transformational, because it's actually aligned to the thing that you need. Nobody's forcing you to do it, but it's actually aligned to the thing that you need. Like Aaron saying, listen, if I needed help with classroom management, I can find a training on classroom management. Yeah. Like, if imagine what your career would look like if you could actually surround yourself with like-minded people who will also try to make an impact. If you receive massive value without spending much money. If you could be the teacher that you were called to be and make the impact that you were called to make. That is literally what you will be able to do by enrolling in Impact. Impact is, again, it's the brand new solution that features all three: courses, community, and coaching. As a matter of fact, you can find out more a newteacherbigimpact.com/special offer. I have to put it in the chat. The link that's in the description, I think, is incorrect, but you can type this in. Matter of fact, can somebody help me out, please? If you type newteacherbigimpact.com/special offer in the comment section so everybody can see it. I don't think the one that is in the description is correct. Now that I'm doing some self-reflection, I think that I meant to update it this afternoon, and I did it. So if you could do that, put that in the chat for me, please. newteacherbigimpact.com/special offer. And the reason why is because once it takes you to this page, you will be able to see all the things that Impact offers. Literally being able to help you with that D3 system. Literally being able to help you find your uniqueness, help you find your supporters to surround you, as well as help you find those things that you need to assist you. Right? That's what New Teacher Big Impact is all about. And as a matter of fact, we already have some students, right? We already have some students that are there. Let me show you. There's one student, one Impact community member. Her name is Stephanie. And Stephanie reached out to me, and we were working together for a couple of months. And she reached out. Listen to what I'm saying. I want you to visualize this classroom in your head. Stephanie said to me, my class, Mr. Williams, you won't believe, I have the worst classroom ever. I have students that, like, three students will never sit down. This is what she said. Three students will never sit down. There's one student, he consistently curses. There's one, he's violent. He kicks others. They don't listen to my classroom management strategies. When I tell them to do a reflection, they slide it off the desk and put it on the floor. And she said, I can't manage this classroom. So we started working together. All right, started going through some things. And it's interesting. I was actually doing a speaking engagement in her city. It was Phoenix. And I said, hey, I know that you're in this city. Do you mind if I swing by your classroom while I'm out there? I spoke at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'd have to get my flight until 6 o'clock at night. So I said, I have some time. Do you mind if I come by? And she said, absolutely, Mr. Williams. This is after we've been working together for a couple of weeks, months. After we've been working together for a couple of months, I walked into her classroom. Think about what you just imagined in your head. Students won't sit down. They're sliding their reflections on the desk. They're cursing. They're not. This is what I saw. I recorded this real quick. What I saw when I walked into her classroom. Now listen, I'm not gonna say it's the perfect classroom, but I don't think it was what you envisioned it was in your brain, right? But because she was able to, through impact, learn how to manage the classroom. And I didn't have to go sit in her to her classroom and give her in the moment feedback. She's able to watch the courses at her own time, ask the questions that she had, like lean on to other community members to see what questions they had. You know what I'm saying? To see who can support. That's what impact is all about. Inside the impact community, again, there are courses, there's community, and there's coaching. The courses that are aligned, assigned based off of the 6 proven principles of effective instruction to make sure that you can actually master these principles. So when we think about the courses, the beautiful thing about impact, I get super excited about it. If I'm talking too fast, let me know. But let me show this to you guys. Inside of impact, there are the courses. So you have access to the full library of trainings, meaning it's not just one course. So many times people are saying, buy the course for 497, buy this course for 997, come to this conference for $1,500, right? But it's just one thing. Inside of impact, you have access to the full library of training. You get access if you want to work on classroom management today, if you want to work on student engagement next week, if you want to work on evaluation next month, you have the complete access to the full library of trainings. There's a new course uploaded every single month, right? We have a new one coming out in August, and the next one is going to be about lesson planning and preparing lessons. The first one or the last one was about classroom management because that was highly sought after. So we did a full training on classroom management. The next one is about lesson planning and curriculum development. There's also access to course workbook and quizzes inside of the course community, as well as certificates for CEUs that you can actually use in your school with the credit hours that you need to continue to renew your license and things like that. Isn't that good? Like, isn't that so thoughtful, right? It's so thoughtful to, okay, we actually get credit for this, and you're seeing how it's coming together. We try to think about the whole teacher as we're putting this together. A new course every single month based off the community needs, right? Workbooks, quizzes that you can actually interact and engage. It's not just like sitting back and watching a YouTube video, but actually getting it. Isn't that helpful? Isn't that thoughtful? Isn't that great? Right? Are you seeing the value in this so far? Aaron, this is what I was saying I was going to come back to. So here's an example of what it would look like. When you go into the impact courses, this is literally the screen. If you've already clicked on new teacher, big impact. Matter of fact, let me just put it in the chat. Nobody wanted to put it in there for me. New teacher, big impact.com/ special offer. I want to make it easy for you guys. I put it there in the chat. Hopefully it's hyperlinked that you can click it. But new teacher, big impact.com/ special offer. You'll see the same screen that I'm showing you right now. And for example, if you're saying I need assistance with stress management, that's under the endure principle. Right? Stress management. That's under the endure principle. Sorry, Katera said you put it in there. Ashley said nobody wanted to mess it up. Or you might be saying, I need help with student engagement. That's under the engage principle. I need help with data-driven instruction. That's under the evaluate principle. You see, once you go in, you'll be able to choose the course or choose the training that you need based off of the principle that it's under. You see how is that making sense? I want you to think about Hulu. When you go into Hulu, I don't say Netflix because I was mad at them since they kicked me off of my mom's my mom's login. But if you go into Hulu, and the other day I went into Hulu because I wanted to watch something funny. I just like to unwind sometimes to watch some funny things. So I wanted to watch something funny, and I didn't click on horror. I didn't click on thriller. I didn't click on action. I clicked on comedy. And it's the same thing. When you go into here, into Impact, what's the thing that you need assistance with? Do you need assistance with encouraging your students, helping them to develop a growth mindset? Okay, click on encouragement and see the lessons in there. Do you need help with empowering students, helping them to provide a transformation? Okay, then click on empowerment and you'll find innovative teaching practices. You see what I'm saying? So depending on what it is that you need, you can log in and see what those trainings are. Isn't that helpful? Isn't that so? You can tell that this was created by educators. It's not we didn't just throw this thing together. This was really intentional, right? So not only do you have access to the courses, but you have access to the community, which I'm super excited about. I was telling you about Lori earlier. Lori is one of the community members that's super active in assisting in the community. But there's a private online community, right? Inside this community, you'll be the first to be notified about any events. So workshops coming up, summits coming up. All right. And as well as you have virtual meetup opportunities. We actually have one tomorrow. I always like to do one right after the workshop where we can welcome our new members. Right, we actually have one coming up tomorrow with virtual meetup opportunities where we can talk to each other via Zoom and things like that. And you get a discount on Pursuit of Excellence merch. So right now I have this shirt on. I'm smarter than I think. I'm braver than I seem. I'm stronger than I feel. And I can do hard things. The affirmation that people love so much. 25% off for those who are inside of the community. But this is how you're able to surround yourself. Remember, we talked about how wolves are surrounded, talked about how schools of fish are surrounded. Simone Biles is surrounded. Who's surrounding you? Inside of this community, you can find people that go ahead of you in guides. You can find the people to go beside you, right? Because they're doing the same thing with you. And you can find people who look up to you because you have information to give as well. And you can help empower and inspire others. I'm super excited about this. Is this good? If it's not, you can let me know. Well, people have already left. So if you're still on the call, it's because you see the value in it. And I'm just super grateful for you that you are still here. Now, coaching is a separate investment, but you have access to cohort style coaching opportunities. We coach about 20 teachers a semester to help them, right? We have access to never before seen trainings. There are subscriber challenges as well as live calls with impact coaches so that we can walk you through some of the things that you are struggling with. And what I was letting you know is I told you I go around the world and I train so many different people and I train schools. And when I train schools, I'm building it on this D3 principle. I help them learn the strategies. I help them learn the principles. I help them master these three things. I help them understand how to be the best version of themselves. And when I go to different schools, this is not a flex of any. Please hear my heart on this, y'all. Hear my heart. Hear my heart. Hear my heart. This is not a flex. This is just literally what happens. Schools pay me $5,000 or more to come teach this on their campuses. In order for me to come out to the campus and do a professional development live and in person for your whole school community, it costs $5,000 or more from the school. Impact is nowhere near that. Today's opportunity, you can learn these same skills as well as get access to the community and access to coaching for just a one-time payment of $197. Just a one-time payment of $197. newteacherbigimpact.com/special offer. You will get access to the courses, to the community, and to coaching. And the cool thing about this is that Impact is actually a monthly membership. How Kimberly, you were there? And sorry. Kimberly, good to see you. She said she enjoyed this Monday in Florence. I was in Florence with the back to school with Head Start on Monday. Kimberly, so glad that you were able to join us. Right. So this one-time payment, it's crazy because Impact is actually a monthly membership. Right. It's actually a monthly membership. And it is $13 a month. Let me ask you this. How many months do you think that having access to the full library of courses, having access to the private community, having access to coaching, how many months of your career do you think that'll be helpful? Let me ask, how many years do you think you would use this? And you can actually put that there in the chat. All right. I see you guys are commenting. You are awake in the chat. I love it. But literally let me know how many years you think you would use this. How many years do you see yourself being able to, with a new course released every single month, based off of the 6 principles, that you can source your own professional development? How many years do you think that'll be helpful? For a private community where you can reach out and ask other people questions, how many years do you think that would be helpful? Right? How many years would it be helpful for you to have access to a coach that can walk with you to guide you along the way? How many years would that be helpful? I'm sorry, I have to put this one up on the screen. Michelle said to and through retirement. To and through retirement. So that's multiple years. Yeah, absolutely. To and through retirement. And the crazy thing is, at $13 a month, if you were to pay for 3 years, I think that'd be like $465, right? If you were to pay for 5 years, it'd be like 676. All right. What I'm saying is, for the 18 of us that are currently still on the call, this special offer is $197 for one time. You will not have to pay the monthly membership. People who don't go on the webinar, people who are not looking at me here right now, they pay $13 a month. And they'll pay $13 a month until they no longer want to pay, which is absolutely fine. It's a hassle-free cancellation at any time. But what I'm saying is, you won't have another payment. You pay 197 and you can access it to and through retirement. Aaron, you get it for endless. Like, I'm not going to revoke for the founding members of Impact. And if that's not enough, there are also some bonuses, right? There's also some bonuses because I want to make sure that you actually feel the impact. I told you earlier that I was going to show you how to get the My Zone of Excellence ebook for free. This is it. On the other side of the order page, if you complete the order and you pay the $197, you will automatically get an email. And inside the email, you'll get your login information for Impact. You'll get a link to download the My Zone of Excellence ebook for free. Currently, it's $10 on my website. It's completely free for those who opt in here tonight. You will also get access to 51 classroom rewards ideas, because one of the trainings is all about classroom management. And all about classroom management, we know that we need to incentivize students as well as consequence students. But you may be wondering, how do I even incentivize students? Okay, well, because now you're going to be able to manage the classroom as an impact member. You should also know how to reward student behavior. Boom, 51 classroom rewards ideas. Some free, some paid, but all for you. And your final bonus is 20 teacher affirmations, because somebody said, it was Michelle. I remember Michelle said, it's me standing in my own way. Sometimes the reason why you're standing in your own way is because you have self-limiting beliefs living in your mind. But if you can recite and commit to memory these 20 teacher affirmations, you can get out of your own way and you can make the impact that only you can make. All of that is included. So you get access to the courses, to the community, to the coaching, as well as 20 teacher affirmations, as well as 51 classroom wars ideas, and the My Zone of Excellence ebook completely for free. Sorry, for $197. I would for $197, right? So you can go to newteacherbigimpact.com/special offer. And when you see that, you will be able to access the resources, and you will be able to put through the order to go to Impact. Right? Awesome question. So Regina is asking, is this offer only good tonight or on this forum? This offer is good until we reach our 100 members of 100 founding members. So this offer is just for the 100 founding members of Impact. Right now we're at 61. So we have 39 slots remaining and this offer goes away. That's not an exaggeration. That's actually why I took my phone out just now. You asked the question at the right time. I just wanted to see where we were. So we have 39 slots remaining and this offer completely goes away. So I can't say it goes away tonight. I can't say it goes away tomorrow. I can't say it goes away next week. But I will say that there will be a time where you type newteacherbigimpact.com/special offer, and what you see is not $197. Because $197 for lifetime access is a little bit insane, right? But for the first 100 people, that is what I wanted to do, to make sure that we show love to the first 100 people that that support, that really want to work with us, right? So the way that I see it is, right now you have two choices. Either you can sit in frustration and as we start the school year, not being the teacher that you've always wanted to be, or you can master this system, be the teacher you've always wanted to be, and make the impact that you have always wanted to make. All right? I know that you've got this. Now, the only question I have is, what's stopping you? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right, so I'm here for questions. You guys have been awesome tonight. This is one of the most engaging chats. I might need to download this chat and just read through it. Like, the chat has been phenomenal tonight. Regina, I see that you are commenting. You guys are amazing. All right, I love it. Aaron, you've been engaged all night. Awesome. So if you have questions, now's a great time. I love answering questions, honestly, no exaggeration. So I'm here to answer any questions that we may have. Right. So I know we start school on August the 21st. So I'm getting a little bit antsy and getting a little bit excited. All right. You have questions, now is the time to ask them. All right. I can hear. I see you. Awesome. Awesome. Katia said, I'm definitely getting connected with impact. All right, let's do it. Super excited. All right. So glad you had a great time, Regina. And Michelle, going into 27th year, you have a new feeling of excitement and enjoyment. I love it. I can't describe it in any other way. That's super amazing and fantastic. I love that for you. I love that for you. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. All right. All right. If there are no questions, I'm gonna go find me something to eat. I hope that you have an amazing, amazing rest of the day. You'll find I'll send you information about how to sign up soon. That's a good question. It says company name. You can put NA. You have to put something there. I'll see if I can fix that. You have to put NA and then it'll go through. All right. Consider year 31. Shout out to you. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys are rocking and rolling. All right, you too, Michelle. Have a great night. You guys are awesome. I'll stick around for Genesia. Hope I said that right. To make sure that you are good to go. Just give me a thumbs up and let me know that you're good to go because I want to make sure that it doesn't cause you any trouble. I know that's super frustrating. I'm sorry about that. I know that's annoying, but I want to make sure that it doesn't cause you any trouble. As for everybody else, appreciate you being here. Do your thing and have an amazing school year. You can definitely be the teacher you've always wanted to be and make the impact that you've always dreamt of making. You got this. All right. All right, Janessa, I'll stick around for a second to see if you're all good. You good? You good? No worry. I'm not rushing you. I'm here. I'm good. I'm relaxing. I'm good. I'm okay. I just want to be here to support you and make sure that everything works out for you. Okay. You got it, Rebecca. I appreciate you for sticking around and for commenting. Right. I know sometimes you just want to sit and get, but I'm glad you actually went forth and typed some things out. I appreciate that. All right. Yolanda, I'm glad you had an amazing time. Glad you had an amazing time. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it, Katir. I'm so excited. So glad. All right, Ashley, I'm so glad that you received value. That's amazing. That's amazing. You got it. You got it. Keep doing your thing, okay? Keep doing your thing. All right, Janessa, I'm glad it worked out for you. Super excited. We will see you on the other side. I just really, honestly, I just want to make sure that you're all good. I'm glad that that worked out for you. Okay. Oh, you teach kindergarten. My daughter's going to kindergarten. We just left open house earlier today, 4:30, 4:30 to 6. We had her open house, but she's going to kindergarten. She starts on the not the 12th. It's staggered entry, so the 15th. All right. That's awesome. You got it. I'm here to support you every step of the way, okay? All right. You got it, y'all. Rock and rolling. I will see you on the other side. And again, have an amazing school year and make the impact that only you can. All right. I'll see you soon. Ooh, sorry, I was about to log off. Arkansas. I don't know. I guess I'll be in Arkansas when somebody invites me. I don't have Arkansas on the calendar for this year, but you connect us with the right people. We'll have the right conversations. I'd love to come. All righty. I'll see you guys soon, okay? Take care. Bye.